Queen Elizabeth and the Toronto Maple Leafs. Yep, you heard it right. Let's do this. In 1927, Conn Smythe would team up with J.P. Bickle. Together, they would purchase the struggling Toronto St. Pats and immediately change the name to the Toronto Maple Leafs. Conn Smythe, being a true military man, would actually go on to serve in 2 world wars and had several important tie-ins to the monarchy that he would later bring to the Toronto Maple Leafs. Queen Elizabeth, the longest-serving monarch, actually visited Canada 22 times throughout her life. But it was that first visit in 1951, back when she was still Princess Elizabeth and accompanied by Prince Philip, that we as Toronto Maple Leaf fans would have a magical moment that would sit with us forever. In 1951, on October 13th versus the Chicago Blackhawks, at 3 p.m. we would set up a 15-minute exhibition game to show off our sport to the world. And people ask, why didn't they just stay? Because it was opening night and they were playing later on that evening. And that's because the Prince and Princess had another engagement that would see them later scheduled at Riverdale Park. But here is a program from that 15-minute exhibition game. And as you could see, our legendary captain, Ted Kennedy, would graciously bow in one of the most famous pictures in Toronto Maple Leaf history. It was actually located in front of what was defined as a royal box located near center ice. And this is believed to be the sweater that Ted Kennedy would wear during that magic moment that would sit in Toronto Maple Leaf history forever. You know, the Queen was actually asked if she truly enjoyed the game. She said, well, I kind of hoped there'd be a little bit more checking and perhaps even a penalty, but she really did like watching the game. Perhaps she just never got to know it the way we've seen it as Canadians over all these years. And funny, you know, we always talk about the Queen and all the charitable work that she had. During that 15-minute game, they were able to raise great funds towards one of Conn Smythe's charities for handicapped children. Phenomenal. You know, 3 times in Toronto Maple Leaf history has a game ever been canceled, and 2 of them were because of deaths of royalty. One of them was 1935 with the death of George V, and then again in 1952 with the death of George VI. And, you know, it was funny because it was soon after Queen Elizabeth was recognized as the Queen that Conn Smythe would hang a massive picture in the south end of the Gardens. It would really be a dominating piece of the arena, and anybody who would go in to see a game, you know, it was something that would stand out every time you'd walk into that arena. And it would be around right up until the 60s. It's funny because even the team that would go on to be the Maple Leafs farm team, the Toronto Marlboros, who were actually formed in the late 1800s, were named after the Dukes of Marlborough. And here is one of those sweaters from the early 1900s. This is from 1903 and believed to be the oldest known Toronto hockey sweater. And this would be the sweater that the Toronto Hockey would see compete for its very first Stanley Cup. How lucky am I to own that? It's really funny because we haven't always had great stories either, because on October 22nd, 1966, our friend Harold Ballard would come in and add seats and do an expansion to the Gardens and would remove that sign from that picture of the Queen from the arena. It upset many people. And when asked about it, you know, in his typical way, he would say, when did she ever pay for a ticket? Well, pretty much done in Harold Ballard style and the guy that we know, right? But in all fairness, listen, the Queen is legendary. She's done things that no one will ever come to be able to match in our lifetime, and I feel very gracious to have been able to see her on TV and listen to some of the stories that she's done in society in itself. There's not many human beings that could ever match what she brings to the table. And very grateful to know that there is a little bit of a tie-in with the Toronto Maple Leafs. I'm Mark Fera. Thanks for watching The Blue Line. Please follow us on all social medias, like and subscribe. Have an amazing day.